Hello friends, hope all of you are doing good. In today's session, we are going to learn about classes and objects in Java. In our last session, we learned about conditional statements like if, switch. Today, let's learn a little bit about classes and objects in Java and the differences between these. Let's take a real-world example. As Java as an object-oriented programming language, we know that this object is the physical existence of an object is actually present in Java as well. So how a physical object is present in Java? Let me take an example of a car. We describe a car like a car which has steering, which has engine, which has tires, which has seats, which has a brake, horn, a running capacity, and a lot of different features. That means it has a behavior. It has certain properties and certain behavior. What does it mean by behavior? Its ability, its capability to execute or something which can show in action. That's a behavior. Say for example, when you start the car starts, car engine starts. When you put the gear and you ride the car moves. All these are car's behavior. Whereas car engine is a property of that class. And at the same time, it has wheels, tires, and seats, steerings, gearboxes. All these are properties. By joining all these properties into certain behavior, an actual class definition is built. It's in a blueprint. It doesn't execute. It doesn't have a physical existence. You take a paper and write, this is how a car is going to be, or this is how a car you can get. This is how a car look like. This is how a car behaves. That is a blueprint. It doesn't have a physical existence. Now let us take this into an original car, a physical car. You get that car. That means that car classes, object is there. The object have a physical presence. It needs some space to stay. It needs some space to run, and it have the actual execution. When you write this on a paper as a blueprint, that car will not run. But when you make an object of that particular car class, that can run. So the difference is physical and one is a definition. Let us take the same example into our code. Let's try coding. Let's first create a class. A class has certain elements in it. We need to use that keywords to create class. We need to use certain formats, syntaxes to write or build our class. So let's take a class. Let's create a car class. I'm taking the package here, com.neonics training. I'm creating one more package, com.neonics.training.car. Inside this package, I'm going to create a class called car. A class when you create a class, it should have a package in it. So now the package definition is on top. The package com.neonics.training.car where my project is in, where my class is in. Then I'm creating the class which has an access specifier public and a class keyword. So this public and class keyword, this class keyword means the car is a class. Now I have public class car. So now the car is a class. Does it have any property right now? No, there is no property for the class. Now let us write a string property of engine. So now it got an engine as a property. Now I am creating another property, string wheel. Also definitely a car have a color. Now I am going to create a color. So these three properties I am just using. Let me just add one more property, string horn. So now this class car have four properties right now declared. The properties are engine, wheel, color and a horn. Now we have created the car class. This car class should be, or this car have certain behavior. We need to write behavior. Blow horn or show color or run. These are the functionalities which is possible by a car. That is a behavior of a car. So let us call void blow horn. This is a method. What is the basic syntax of a method is you need to have a return type. That means what is this method going to return? So here void is the method returning, that means it's returning nothing, and the method name. We use the common standard Java naming convention, that is camel case, for methods. For the first word we will use all lowercase, and from second words onward we will have the first letter as uppercase letter. And here we can declare our parameters which we are expecting to receive as part of this method call. Right now I am just leaving that part and just giving a sysout pom pom. So when I blow horn, it is going to print pom pom. That's it. So let's have a try out of this car. Now this car cannot run because this car is just written with the definition. How this car can run? An actual physical existence of this car object can be created by creating an object of this class, a physical object of this class car can be created using a new object. Now this class is being here. I am going back to our old hello world method and I am just removing this content over here and just making it blank. Okay, now what is going to do with this? Here I need to use an operator called new. New is an operator which will help you to create object of a class. Now let me create the car class. For that I need to bring the car. So when you use this car class or any class in another class, you need to import that class including the package name. So there is the full name com.neonics.training.car is the package name and the full class name you are importing. Using that you imported that car into this hello world class. Now creating the object car. So car is an object of the class car. Now for much better understanding, let us create it as a car obj, car object. Now how I will create this is new car. So this is called the constructor. Default constructor is car and round bracket. Constructor is just like the function we declare. We will learn about the constructor in one of our later session. Now I am using the default car constructor. I created the car object. So the new car is created. Now the car object is having certain values. Now let us do one thing. I just give a sysout here just for marking the end of the program. Let me just run it. What is going to happen? Let us see. It is not going to execute anything, just going to run and print the end. Now let us just debug and see what this car object contains. Let's debug it. Click on debug. Switch to the debugger perspective. It waits here. Now I have the car object. You can see inside the car object I don't have any values, any of these properties set. Everything is null. Color is null, engine is null, horn is null, and wheel is null. While we run this in debugger mode, we can see the car object is created and it has a physical existence and there is no values assigned. Every properties, color, engine, horn, wheel, everything got created as null because we never assigned any value to that object's properties. Now it is time for us to set the property values and see what is going to happen. But anyway, we can, before we setting up the property, let us try calling the behavior, that is the function which we have created in the car object. So how we will call that is car object dot, there should be blow horn, but what happened is there is access specifier we have not mentioned, so it becomes a private one. We need to explicitly mention this as a public one. Now what will happen? If I make this as public, the blow horn will be able to access here. Earlier you saw, before I make this as public, before I make this method as public, I was unable to access that method here. Now the blow horn method will be coming, and now if you run it, it's going to print the pom pom. Now let's debug it and see how when it is executing here. Now let's see, debug run. It comes to the pom pom first. So after it created the object, it executed this line and this line brought this code here. Now if I run it next, it is going to come to the next place like the system.out.println end. And now, oh sorry, I just need to finish this. I just finish it and that's it. So now let us try assigning some data value to this particular car class. Let me just write the constructor. Say I'm going to right click source. I should probably get the constructor using fields. So I just deselect all and generate the constructor. So what happens is this creates a constructor. Oh sorry, this creates the constructor. Constructor syntax is this public, and the public is an access specifier. You need to give the access specifier. So obviously you want others to create this particular class's objects. You need to make it as public and you need to use the exact class name, then round brackets, brace open and close. In between you are going to create the engine equal to, say, new engine version 5. Okay, so you can even give this dot engine. This will also work. See, if you give this dot engine, this works like this objects engine. Otherwise also, as it is getting created as part of this object, the engine will be taken. Now wheel, say I'm just taking 20-inch wheels. Okay, 20-inch wheels. Then next, color equal to white, and I'm giving a horn equal to giving pom. Okay, so this is what I have given. Now system.out.println blow horn is what I have created. Now I'm going to create one more method, public void run car. In the run car, I'm going to do like, while I'm running the car, I want to know first the color of the car, and the new engine starts, and then the four wheels is rotating, then horn, and then ride. So I'm just giving a sequential printout, sysout my car color equal to plus color, right? Now sysout my engine starts, with new engine, right? So that I don't know whether it is new engine or not. What is the engine associated with it? Now then engine started, then system.out.println, I need to give the rotate the wheels. Okay, rotate the wheels, and then I give the wheel. Okay, so I didn't give it as wheel, the wheels and wheel. Now what I can do is I can call the blow horn. Okay, now the run car method is going to execute each of this line, and it is going to finally end the run the blow horn. And let me just give sysout my car runs faster. Okay, so this is what we are doing. Now let me just run. Oh, before I am running, I just need to change this. I'm just going to give this car obj dot. I think the access modifier again creates the problem. No, I have given public run car, right? Where I don't see a run car. Yeah, yes, I have the run car here. Okay, now the run car is going to execute. Let us see what is going to happen. If I run as Java application, first it printed my car color white, my engine starts new engine version 5, my rotate the wheels 20-inch wheels, pom is my horn, and then my car runs faster, and then end. Okay, being all these said, why we need to assign this car property values here? Can we assign the values through the constructor while I create my car? Yes, of course you can. Now we create using the source, generate constructor using fields. I'm just generating all the constructor values. Now what happens is, when I create a new car, I have two options, whether I can create with the default constructor or I can create a car with this new constructor with these 4 parameters. Let me just create my second car, my car obj2 equal to new car which has these details in it. I just need to pass this engine version 6, and the wheel is 22 inches. And then color is green. And I like the horn, beep, beep. Okay, so this is my car object 2. Now, first the car object 1 is going to run here. Let us sys out car object 1 running here. And here car object 1 end here. Now what I'm going to do is my car object 2 is going to running here. My car object, okay, on behalf of running starts here. Starts here. Here also I'm giving starts here. Now car object 2 dot run car. I'm calling the run car. The same method I'm calling. And car object 2 end here. Okay. Now if I run, what is going to happen? Let's see. First, the car 1 object. The car object 1, which has all the default values which I have created using the default constructor, and my car runs faster, and object 1, the car object 1 end here. Every other values which I have assigned to the first method, the first object has came from the default constructor. When I used the second object, I was able to pass my values which I wanted to give. So I gave my car object 2 starts here, and my car color is green, and my engine starts, engine version is 6, and rotate wheels, that is 22 inches, and it goes pom pom again printed, and my car runs faster, car object 2. Why this pom pom printed? I know. The problem happened here is the pom pom is printed because I didn't explicitly call the horn which I have created. So let's see, we have pom pom here hard coded in the blow horn. Let us change it here with horn with the horn value which we have given, right? Horn. Yes. Now we run it. It is going to print the PP, right? Yes. The horn came as PP. Here the horn came as pom pom. So now you can understand clearly the objects. Each objects hold different physical values. That means we got 2 physical values of this particular car class, whereas the class never had a value in the first run. When we ran it first, it didn't have a default property, default value. We have to explicitly give that value to execute or get it run. Now we gave a default constructor. Using the default constructor, we set certain values and we used it. In this session, we have learned that a class cannot run on its own. A class needs to be run by creating its objects. So objects are the one which is actually having a physical presence and a physical behavior. It actually executes the behaviors written inside the class, and it shows the properties which is assigned in the class. Hope you all enjoyed today's session and you got a fair idea about what is class, objects and a basic syntax of a method. In next session, we are going to learn more about Java, and we are going to learn about how to create the web applications in the upcoming sessions. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, subscribe now. Share it with your friends who are looking for learning Java web application development. We are creating and curating a lot of new videos for the upcoming software engineers. Thank you.